Good morning, Sunny Hill. My name's Teresa. Thank you for joining me on this Monday morning. Let's start this great week together. I'm excited to unpack the scriptures, and this week we're looking at the topic of discipleship. And this morning's reading is taken from the book of Mark, the Gospel of Mark, in chapter 1, verses 16 to 20. And it talks about where Jesus was walking across by the Sea of Galilee, and he called his first disciples. He saw Simon and his brother Andrew. They were fishermen and they were out on the seas fishing. And he said to them, "Come, follow me. Come, follow me, and I will send you out to fish for people." And they did that. At once, it says in verse 18, at once they left their nets and followed him. Now, I find that amazing. They must have heard about Jesus. They must have known who he was. But here we are. They just didn't question it. They didn't argue it. At once, they stopped what they were doing and followed him. Now, at some stage, you and I have been called by God. We were given that call on our hearts and we made that decision. But did we stop it at once and go, or did we take time to think about that? For me, it was a process over a few days, a few weeks even, before I just made that decision. But here we see that Simon and his brother Andrew just stopped everything and followed Jesus. And it goes on a little further. He saw James, the son of Zebedee, and his brother John in a boat, preparing their nets. Again, they were fishermen. And without delay, he called them. And they left their father Zebedee in the boat with the hired men and followed him. Again, as I'm thinking about that, I'm thinking there was no conversation, there was no question, there was no doubt. They knew that they were called to do this, and without delay, they stopped, they went, they were obedient. Now there's lessons, so many lessons right there for you and me to learn. When Jesus calls us to do something, are we obedient? Do we argue about it first? Do we mull it over? Do we go away and think, well, I think I know better than that and I'm not sure if that's right? Or do we stop immediately what we're doing and do what it is that we've been asked to do by God? This is what these men here have done. These are his first disciples. Jesus knew what he was doing. He knew the work of the Father, and he was calling these men that were going to be close friends over the next years, that they were going to follow in his footsteps. They were going to watch and learn and be taught by him and go on to do amazing things. So again, there's lessons there for you and me. When we're called by God to do something, when we're obedient to that calling, when we stop our own way, our own thoughts, our own desires and our own ways of doing things, and we do what the Lord is telling us, we too can learn. We too can be influential. We too can be fishers of men. These men were called to be fishers of men. That's what Jesus said to them. I will send you out to fish for people. Now, if I'd have been them, Simon and Andrew, I'd have thought, fish for people, what are you talking about? They didn't question, they just did it. Now, 35 years on from being a Christian, I understand totally what he means. And I'm excited to be a fisher of men, a fisher of people. Are you too? Do you question it? And I can't do that in my own ability any more than you can do it in your ability. But when we're called by the Lord, when he tells us to do something, he equips us to do it. And if he equips us to do it, then we are blessed and we are right in what we're doing, and we are called and we fulfill the purposes that God has for us. It's sometimes scary, but it's also very exciting. So just go away and ponder on that today. What has God called you to do? Maybe fishers of men. Maybe he's given you gifts in other areas. But are you fulfilling those gifts without question? Are you doing it? Are you being obedient? Well, my prayer today is that you listen to the words that you're being asked, and that you follow through with what God is calling you, because it brings a blessed life and can change and impact the life of others. Have a great day, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.